Welcome back to the Life, Liberty, and Pursuit of Happiness Project podcast. I'm Garrett, your host and founder of the Life, Liberty, and Pursuit of Happiness Project. And today we are going over the part 2, I promised, of our previous episode, which was based on Draw Your Future, a TEDx Rainier talk by Patti Dobrowolski. I'm sure I butchered that. I do every time. So my apologies, Patti, if you ever watch this. Let's see. So I did a little bit of pre-work. Forgive me. Every once in a while I'll look over here to the side. That's where my monitor is at today, because of how we're set up here to try to view my drawings and stuff as I draw my future. So again, I don't have a fancy camera that like dangles from above or anything like that. I'm just using a little regular webcam and holding it in hand, and so I'll do my best to keep it steady and focus in on what I want it to be focused on and all that. So I've been doing a little bit of thinking since our last chat. So I do have some ideas of what I am doing and want to draw. A lot of it, even though this is called Draw Your Future, a lot of it, to be honest, is going to be word art, maybe if I'm lucky. And because I can't really figure out a way to put some of these words into picture form. So, we'll do our best and we'll do what we do. So let's go ahead and get started. So here we are with my current state. And this is actually the part I've put the least thought into. One of my biggest issues is still my health. I am working on improving that. Oh, can't see that. Here we are. So I am working on that. There's still more I could do. But we're going to go with the same visual we used last time. And so we have I think my drawing last time was better. Jabba the Hutt here. And Salacious Crumb is a little monkey. And yeah, so sometimes, so that's more just black, aren't they? Sometimes I just feel like a big slug. I don't have the energy I want to. It's hard for me to get going and do the things I want. I don't have the endurance. A lot of that is just, many years of an unhealthy lifestyle, being too sedentary and things like that. So I don't have a lot of regrets. I tried not to regret things, but if I'm being honest, one thing that's more of a broad brush thing that I do regret from life is that I wasn't more physically active. Growing up, I had a very, how do I want to phrase that? Very separated, that's not what I'm looking for, but it's all that's come to mind, view of life. Like, it was very much a dichotomy. It was either this or that. So, my thinking was either I could be a physically active person and be athletic and be good at sports and all that, or I could be a smart person and read and do well in school and that sort of thing. At a young age, at least, there was no like middle ground. There was no being both. And as I grew older, obviously, I realized that's complete bunk. Obviously, there are many people who are both. But early on, I had that false dichotomy in mind, and it really disempowering and incorrect thought patterns. I got those stuck in my brain. And so speaking of brain, I've never tried to draw a brain before. So there's a kidney bean looking sort of thing. And here's a bunch of wrinkles because brains have wrinkles. I love learning about, well, consciousness really is my thing, not the brain in general, but one of the lines of thinking out there is that a big part of what allows us to have the mental capacities that we do is all the wrinkles in our brain allow for us to have more connectedness, more integration. I think is the word I was looking for. So this is my sad brain, my unhappy brain. So this is going to be, and I'm going to write these down because when I reviewed my last one, there were a lot of things I did not remember. So sad, disempowering thought patterns and habits. This one again is Jabba the Hutt. Feeling like a slug. Low energy. Not active. That sort of thing. So what else? Let's go up here. So there's some little dollar signs. Finances are a struggle. Hopefully that will be changing. But as of right now, finances are hard. There's not a lot of money, but I'm working on growing that. So hopefully in the future we will see that grow. As I'm moving closer. So I've been using brown a lot here today. Yeah, you can see I'm a great artist. Here's, I'm just gonna quit on that roof. A house that almost looks more like a block of cheese. Actually, I could almost make that like a piece of chocolate cheesecake. I think that would look more like that than a house, but we'll put some windows in here. Door. And so one thing that is difficult, and I'm going to preface this with this. Things that are part of our current state that are unhappy things for us. Sometimes they may not be things that we can change, but they are factors in our life. And so they can still be things that are having negative effect on us. They're still part of our unhappy current state. And so here is my daughter over here on this side. She is away from us. She lives with her mom most of the time. And then family, I live with family. And part of that is to help take care of my dad. He has some health issues that I won't go into because that's his medical stuff, but let's just say he needs some support with things. And you know, so that's something that I do. I help him with those things. And that's not something that's ever going to be fixed or made better. Those things are only going to continue to be a problem for him for the rest of his life. And, you know, at best, they stay where they are, and at worst, or, you know, if it's not best case scenario, then they get worse. So I am going to, let's use red. We haven't used red yet. So again, this is going to be similar to one of my items on my previous list. My to-do list. Oh, there we go. Okay. So my to-do list. And there's all this stuff on the list. And, you know, there's more stuff than I can fit. And there's a clock. So too much to do and not enough time, which is a way I feel a lot. Jabba's going to be sleeping here. I want to put something about sleeping in here because I'm always tired. So Jabba's going to be getting some Z's. Let's see. So too much to do. It's all time. Overwhelmed. So, all right. I'm sure there's probably more I'm going to come up with for my current state. Potentially. One more thing. I'm going to use this color here. And this is going to be a word one because I don't know how to put this into a picture form. So anxiety, potentially because of the plague we've been going through the last few years, in addition to other things, I've had a lot more anxiety about things, and that can make things challenging at times. And that goes along with the disempowering thought patterns and habits, but hey, anxiety isn't just a thought pattern, it's a little bit different. So switching over here to the side for the desired new reality. So I have here a spot for my 3 bold steps. And so I am going to write these down. I kind of came up with some ideas while in the last couple days. I've had to work on this, so I kind of knew what I was talking about, and that wasn't just totally making this up as we go, because that probably would not have worked well. And I wanted these to be things that's not quite like a to-do list. It's not things that are like things to check off from a list, or things that that are little things that aren't bold. I think bold is an important word here. So it needs to be big things, even if they're big things for me that might not be big for other people. So one is to launch my preparedness coaching program. And other courses. So I believe in diversification. There are a lot of things that I kind of want to empower people with that aren't part of a coaching program. And I don't want to be like, oh, I coach this, and I'm a coach for this, and I'm a coach for that, and I coach for this. So, I kind of the way I put it is I'm a life and a preparedness life coach, where I do life and preparedness coaching. And then other things are kind of on the side. Those are kind of extra things. And those are going to be more courses, things that people can purchase and download and just kind of work through on their own. They're going to be kind of similar to the coaching program, but they won't have the necessarily the access to me and the actual like coaching part of it. So need to get those launched. That's a big, I need to do this. I should have done it previously. This one I kind of struggled, but I need to put myself out there more. And that's more often and further out. So what I mean by that is it's weird. I don't think of myself as someone who really cares a ton about other people's opinions. And yet at the same time, I'm very self-conscious. So but it's more about like what I feel. So like, I don't want to feel embarrassed. Like if someone thinks I'm a ridiculous person or someone doesn't like me, I don't care much about that. But the thought of me being embarrassed about something is horrifying to me. So that is kind of an anxiety thing that holds me back sometimes from putting myself out there, either with the frequency that I should, or as far out as I should. And by as far out, I mean like reaching out to people that I have not had the courage to reach out to. Like normally when I reach out to people for help with something, or to say, hey, do you want to do an interview for my podcast, something like that, I reach out to people I know, or at least have like a first or second degree connection with. I don't often like reach out to people who I really don't know, and like don't have a pretty direct connection to. So I need to be more bold about doing that. And then the third thing, and again, I struggled with this because these are some of these are things that it's hard to say like it's a step, because I feel like a step, 3 bold steps is like 3 bold to-dos or 3 bold accomplishments. But I don't think a lot of those are necessarily bold for me. They're just things that I haven't gotten around to, or I don't do like I should. And so like for me, something bold in a way would be to be more self-disciplined and holding myself to a routine. That is a big thing for me. It is really easy for me to get distracted, for me to go off and do other things, and then hard to come back to what I'm supposed to be doing. So, and with working independently, it is really easy for me to just say, okay, well, I'm going to do this now, and I can work later. And some days that works out well, and some days it doesn't. It just really depends on the day. So, yeah. So, one thing I need to do in drawing out my picture, desired new reality here, to help bring about, or to help that these 3 bold steps are supposed to help bring about. There we go. That's what I'm trying to say. Launching my preparedness coaching program, other courses, putting myself out there more and more often and further out, and being more self-disciplined and holding to a routine. One of those that I am working on, I started drawing, and couldn't see this in the picture. So yeah, so this isn't putting myself in a box, because I do need to be putting myself out there more. This is me setting and holding to boundaries more effectively. And that's specifically pertaining to time. Yeah, that's the biggest thing, is boundaries around time. Family is really important to me, and that there's other things that are important to me that I feel I have obligations regarding. And so, I have a tendency to drop anything for those. And sometimes that means I drop what I'm working on, and it takes a while to get back to it, or I may not get back to it. Okay, so first thing I wanted to do, or had intended to draw, is we have our foundation. And my personal belief is that love should be at the foundation of all we do. And that is not necessarily romantic love, but that's charity, that's compassion. There, depending on who you're talking to, there are at least 4 different types of love. Some people identify as many as, I think it's 8. Excuse me. So I really have been trying to make sure that everything I do is built on a foundation of love, and that is it's made a huge impact on my life, and that's something I really want to continue to do. So part of my future is to continue to be more loving, and receiving more love would be nice as well. So love, Love is great in all of its many forms. All of them that are truly love. A lot of people kind of don't seem to know what love is, and think of things, call them love, and they may not be. So, see, this is another one I don't know how to put in picture form. So I'm just going to do a little bit of fancy writing there. Harmony. And then peace. I try personally to live a pretty peaceful life. You know, I'm not going to say I never get angry or things like that, but you know, for the most part, I think I do pretty well. But I do want the world to be more peaceful. It'll never be perfect. But I do think we should be striving for a world set free and a world set at peace. So harmony how we live our lives. So harmony, different parts of myself being in harmony with myself, if that makes sense. So that would be things like public and private self, who I am with others versus who I am when I'm alone. That's not necessarily saying that I'm being disingenuous anywhere, but you know, sometimes we all generally put forth different faces and things, and show one side of our personality to one group of friends or one person, or you know, we have our work personality and things like that. And I really don't like doing that. I think it's not healthy. I think it's important to be able to be all of who you are all the time. So harmony with yourself, and harmony with others, and then harmony with the universe. The universe, God, however you want to put that. Yeah, I think those are kind of the three main areas where we need to have harmony. I could probably break it down a little bit more, but I think that's a really good summary. And sorry for clicking the pen in your face and in your ears. So yeah, peace, love, harmony are three principles and characteristics that are super important to me. Let's see. So one thing that I'm being honest, I don't think of in these terms enough. As I've mentioned, I am not the lightest person. I'm pretty out of shape. So, you know, I really would like to be lighter, to be healthier. It's not just about the weight itself, but being healthier. And I really think weight loss is a part of that, but there's obviously other things as well that go with healthiness. So better health in general. Yeah. Let's see. How do I want to draw this thing? Let's see. Okay, so I am going to draw kind of an abstract one now. So we have here world. that's North America. And as we out of proportion, here we have Greenland. And over here we have Africa and Europe, or at least islands there about. So we have oceans and our more deserty areas. We have our lush green areas. And I think that's enough color to get me to remember that is the world. So let's see. That drawing here. I'm trying to picture how. Very horrible drawing, but I need to stop saying that. I need to be better about how I talk about myself and how I draw. So that is supposed to be two hands and kind of a hook hand shape, an X hand shape if you know sign language. The sign for change is your two hands doing kind of that motion. So I do want to have an impact and change the world. Obviously for the better, bringing about more love, peace, and harmony. Another thing that I really want for myself that I don't quite know. No, I'll do this. Going from off to, we'll use green for this one. Off to on. So, like I said, I feel a lot of time kind of lethargic, don't have a lot of energy, struggle with some repetitive depression and anxiety. And so there are days where I just don't feel up to doing things. And so I have my coach that I've worked with, put it in terms of being on, having an on day, or putting it on, turning it on for, the people that you're working with or interacting with. And so that's something I'm working on, is being on more. This one's kind of a little bit of a silly one in some ways, but I like it. I have a bucket. And this bucket has a list. So I like a lot of people do have kind of a bucket list. It's not something that I put a ton of effort into or stress about. you know, a lot of it's little things. They're just more experiences than, you know, some of them are more like, oh, I want to have this or try this. Like, yeah, as far as like, I want to try this food or something like that. But a lot of things are experiences. Oregon, here where I live, has the McMinnville UFO Festival, for example. I've wanted to go to the last couple of years because of the plague. They haven't held it for a little while. So that's been something I haven't been able to attend. I'm not going to put that one in the picture here, but I will put, I said this kind of jokingly to my sister the other day, and I was like, actually, it kind of is true. I would love to cuddle all the kitties. Obviously, I can't cuddle every kitty in the world. But I think it would be fun to try to cuddle at least one of every species, or at least pet it, have some sort of physical interaction with it. So let's put some markings on this kitty here. It's going to be kind of a gray, or it's going to be brown and white tabby. So I have a house cat. Have house cats in my family off and on much of our lives. So that one is taken care of. When I was a kid, we went to wildlife safari down near Roseburg, Oregon. I believe the town is, I keep wanting to say Bandon, but that's not it. That's over on the coast. Winston Wildlife Safari is in Winston, Oregon, right outside of Roseburg. And they have a cheetah breeding program, if I remember there. And they used to have, among their animal experiences, they used to have the opportunity to like actually meet and interact with cheetahs. And so somewhere I have pictures of like sitting next to a cheetah, like with my arm around it or something like that. I think my mom still has those pictures. So I can check house cat and cheetah off the list. There are a bunch of other kinds, obviously. And so those will be, I need to make a list. So if I want to meet that goal or check that item off my bucket list, I need to figure out all the different species of cat. And then I can start figuring out like where they are, where they live, and how easy it is to get to cuddle them. So yeah, like I said, that kind of started as a joke, and the more I thought about it, I'm like, oh, that'd actually be really cool. So yeah. So then obviously, now this is a big one for a lot of people. You know, I would love for my financial situation to be a bit better. That one I don't think needs really any explanation. Let's see. I'm actually running out of room here. I'm really surprised at myself. I should have done this the other way. Oops. Books. Oh, sorry, there we go. I apologize for any and all issues with the camera here. So books. Write, read, publish. So doing more with books. I published my first book of poetry a little while ago, around New Year's of 2000, going into 2001, I think it was. Yes, that had to have been it. And I haven't published anything since, and definitely need to do that. I need to publish more. See, I'm going to go down here. I didn't want to put anything below foundation, but I didn't put foundation close up to the bottom. So Life's Day Pursuit Happiness Project. There's a lot I want to do with that. Some of this is like with that, and some of it is, could be connected to it, doesn't have to be. But I'm going to go ahead and put it on here anyway. I thought we'd do this kind of more of a mind map. Public speaking. Let's see. What else? I wrote this so small I can't even read it. Silly me. Classes, coaching, podcast, YouTube videos, classes and other kind of training, because it doesn't have to be in a formal class setting. Let's see. I'd like to do more with merchandise as well. I actually would love to do my own private label, so to speak, of like preparedness supplies. I think that would be awesome to be able to do. So I should not have started to circle those like that, but anyway, I get the idea. I think we have that part figured out. And the nice thing about this is I can go and change it, add to it as I need to. And then let's see here. The other thing I have on here, and I'm going to go back up here and put another very poor drawing. So there I go again, being very self-critical. That is supposed to be hands in sort of a prayer position. And that is representing spirituality, spiritual system, I'm going to say. I am kind of at a place in life where I am figuring out, kind of re-examining my belief systems and trying to figure out what works for me, what doesn't work for me, and that sort of thing. Kind of evaluating what do I really believe and what impact should that be having on my life? What do I do about what I believe? And so that's very much a work in progress right now. But I want to develop that. Yeah. So, one more thing I'm going to put in word form down here is lifestyle. I really want my life to be flexible. Not tied down, but yet self-sufficient. So I'm not sure how to make that work. To where, you know, if I want to go on a road trip, because most of what I'm doing, you know, with coaching, building classes and courses and things like that, kind of the knowledge-based industry education, its current format and how it's growing and where it's headed, that's stuff that can be done remotely very well. And so don't necessarily have to be tied to a certain location. I can do that on the road if I want to take a road trip. But at the same time, you know, part of being self-sufficient probably means ideally having my own orchard and garden and possibly probably some animals, and all that need to be taken care of. And so that doesn't work as well with a semi-nomadic, like travel, like not tied down lifestyle. So I don't know how to make that work yet. Hopefully someday I will figure that out. But yeah, that is kind of what I want my life to look like. That's what I want for my desired new reality. Okay, so thank you for sitting through that with me. I really appreciate your patience. I hope that this example for you of how to do Patti's method of drawing your future as a means of goal setting and visualization. I really hope that's been helpful and beneficial for you, something that you can put into practice, something that you can learn from, adapt, make it your own. That's one thing I love about a lot of these things is, you know, we're all individuals, and so there's a lot of room for adaptation and finding the way things work for us as individuals, the way things work best for us. It's not, life is not one size fits all. Again, I appreciate you being back with me, and I will be back, I'm sure, next week with another episode. I shouldn't say I'm sure. I'm debating whether to continue with episodes every week or thinking of moving to every other week. So I'm not sure. I may do every other week for right now. And then as as things get ramped back up, move back to every week. Part of that's going to see or depend on how we're doing with me potentially getting some people to interview. I love doing interviews. I don't mind doing kind of these solo, I don't want to say monologues, but you know, these videos where it's just me chatting or demonstrating or whatever. But I love doing interviews. I love chatting with people, getting to know them. So I'd like to continue to do some of those. If you haven't seen any of the interviews I've done with people, I've spoken with several individuals about what they are doing in their lives to build the life that they want to live. So hopefully, you know, hopefully what they're sharing can be an example to you. You can take some lessons from them. And yeah, so hopefully this has been of value to you. That's one of my biggest things is I want to bring you value so that you can be more empowered and you can better build and live your life. So I appreciate you spending time with me, and I will see you next time.